Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another episode of TEW 2020 WWE here. As today we're back for another PLE PPV special. We got NXT Takeover Chicago 3, and then we have Crown Jewel, which will feature the King of the Ring and Queen's Crown tournaments. So we have a lot to get through and a lot to do, and so without further ado, let's just jump right into it, and we'll kick things off, event-wise with NXT Takeover Chicago, which gets underway as always, as they all do. Let's be honest, it's the best way to start them with a little opening video package, just going over, highlighting the show, the big matches. Gargano versus Andrade, Swerve versus Grimes, LeRae versus Perez, Dakota Bayley, and of course the winners take all main event. LA Knight, Torres, and Boardman versus Gable and the Mysterios. Six-man tag, winner takes all, NXT and Cruiserweight tag titles on the line. And of course, actually, the biggest thing of all, it's the wedding of Tony D'Angelo later on in the show. Tony D'Angelo will be getting married to his beautiful fiancée. You're not going to want to miss it. So stay tuned. And if you are enjoying the series as we approach this premium live event, why don't you drop a like and subscribe for more? Why don't you? Go ahead. Let's jump into it, and we kick off with the video package 100. Beautiful. Happy, good, and then we get into the first match of this evening, which is in the King of the Ring tournament. It is Andrade of Legado taking on Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano, him and Andrade have a lot of history, and now they're both here again. I suppose in the King of the Ring final weight, and King of the Ring giving you a world title match at SummerSlam. Gargano returning on NXT in June. Gargano and Andrade were both in Money in the Bank as well, and now they're both in the King of the Ring final, going head to head once more. Andrade versus Johnny Gargano. I suppose in the King of the Ring final awaiting, in the end, your winner, and the man who moves on to that King of the Ring final later in the episode of Crown Jewel is Johnny Gargano. Johnny freaking wrestling, Johnny Takeover, whatever you want to call him. You call him Johnny winner right now, forcing to Andrade to tap out in the Krusty and Krab in the end. 95, amazing match. Could have done even better maybe, but we take the 95, don't we? 96 Andrade, 95 Jonathan Gargano. Very pleased as Johnny Gargano advances to the King of the Ring final. It will be Pete Dunne versus Johnny Gargano versus Big E. One of those men will get the win and earn himself a guaranteed world title match at SummerSlam. Gargano joining him. Who will be in the Queen's Crown final? I'll find out later tonight. Candice versus Roxanne Perez, of course. Johnny Gargano and Candice, husband and wife. Well, the husband and wife both get there. I have to wait and see. After the match, though, Gargano gets his chance to celebrate. He's heading to the King of the Ring final. He's one step away from being King Johnny Gargano. World title match. Good. Pleased. Love Johnny. Who doesn't? Johnny's great. 100. Amazing opener. Really good post. Expect nothing less. Let's keep things going. Next up, with a title match with the NXT North American Championship on the line. It's the champion Isaiah Swerve Scott taking on Golden Gods member Cameron Grimes. Spanish Fly Night looking to win all the gold later on, and Cameron Grimes looking to join them with some gold of his own. The North American title, taking on champion Isaiah Swerve Scott, been on really good form since he won the title back in February. So he's had about 5 months now. He's doing well with it. Swerve, he's been on some really good matches and all that. Very pleased. As here, and he's over Chicago. North American title on the line. Swerve versus Grimes. In the end, your winner. And still, the NXT North American champion is Isaiah Swerve Scott. Isaiah Swerve Scott does do it with the Swerve Stomp in the end, making his 6th defense of the North American title for an 88. Amazing match. Like I said, Swerve's on really good form. 85 in the ring from him. 79 from Cameron Grimes, doing very well as well. As the Golden Gods tonight, not getting off well for them. No gold here. And there'll be, all or nothing in the main event. But Cameron Grimes coming up short against Isaiah Swerve Scott. Before we continue things, just pumping through it. It's Takeover. It's action, action, action. And the action we got next up is in the Queen's Crown final. Candice LeRae versus Roxanne Perez. Candice LeRae, the more experienced. Roxanne, the prodigy, debuting a few months back. Roxanne Perez debuting and joining Cora Jade and Annie Cooper in Next Gen under the tutelage of Candice LeRae. It's mentor versus mentee, teacher versus student. LeRae helping Perez you know, improve her craft and learn more. And Perez maybe looking to take advantage of that, you know. Maybe Candice LeRae knows her moves, maybe she knows Candice LeRae's. Oh, I think this will probably be the lowest ranked match of the night, rating-wise, but I think it'll be good nonetheless, and I'm looking forward to it. And so let's do it. Candice LeRae, Roxanne Perez are spotting the Queen's Crowns final await. Will LeRae join Gargano, or will Roxanne Perez get a massive win over her mentor Candice LeRae and get her own spot at Crown Jewel? In the end, your winner and the woman advancing to the Queen's Crown final at Crown Jewel is Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez. Roxy's done it. Roxanne is heading to Crown Jewel, heading to the Queen's Crown tournament final. 66 is a pretty decent match. 61 Candice, 51 Roxanne. I'm happy with that. And it will be Kairi Sane versus Roxanne Perez versus, come on, Becky Lynch. How can I say Becky Lynch? Becky Lynch won half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. Who will get that win and get himself a guaranteed women's title match at SummerSlam? All the matches are officially on set for Crown Jewel now, which is lovely. 66 for that, though. Very good. And then afterwards, Candice LeRae and Roxanne Perez, they hug, show some respect. Candice leaves her for a moment as Roxanne celebrates in the ring. She is in the, not king of the ring, queen of the ring, Queen's Crown final. There we go. And she will be back later this episode for that triple threat match at Crown Jewel 59. Good post. Good match, good post. I am happy. And I'm even happier because of what is next up. Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats. The wait is over. I know we've been going through boring matches. Like, who do I want to watch? Andrade, Johnny Gargano. You all want to watch. Yes, it's time for the wedding of Tony D'Angelo. Big Tony's getting married in his home city of Chicago, Illinois. He's got his friends here. He's got his family here. It's beautiful. Everyone's here. His best man, Madcap, by his side in the ring. The ropes are down. They put a lovely carpet out. You got Otis the Bulldozovich tucking night-night. Happy Holland's looking happy as ever. His father Michael's here and his mother Beverly. Don Wagner's here with Robert Slick Stone. The whole gang's here. Everyone's ready for this wedding. Big Tony, you know, maybe feeling a bit nervous, but Madcap cracking the jokes to keep the vibes going. It's beautiful, beautiful ceremony. The ring is done so beautifully, so nicely. Michael happy. Everyone ready. 74, by the way, which is very good. As then we wait, and it's announced that, you know, we're ready for the bride. The bride is ready to make her way out. Tony, ready to see his beautiful fiancée in her dress, ready for the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the bride. As Yes walks out to the ring, his beautiful bride, his fiancée, his bride-to-be, Ariana Morella, and beside her, of course, her father, Santino Morella, and accompanying them, Santino, a big important guy. He needs some protection. Accompanying them, of course, is Vladimir Kozlov. Santino Morella onto the stage, the crowd's, you know, cheering at Santino. Santino undoing his suit jacket and pulling it back to show off the 24/7 title around his waist. Getting a few pats while they make their way down to the ring. Santino, Ariana, you know, arm in arm. His father walking daughter down the aisle. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. 71. They get in the ring. You know, Santino to Tony. You want to marry my daughter, huh? You want to marry my daughter, huh? And Tony, sir. Your daughter, she's so beautiful. I'd be honored to marry her. So beautiful. And Santino saying, okay, you're gonna marry my daughter. Santino and Michaels shaking hands. Santino and Don Wagner shaking hands. Santino and Kozlov taking their seats. As Ariana and Tony stand side by side at the altar, where they're saying their vows, you know, I do's and I do's. And then, you know, the priest, he asks, is there anyone here who has any reason why these two should not be lawfully wed? And yes, out comes Destined for Greatness, Carmelo Hayes, Anthony Ogogo, Eli Cassidy, Marcus Redden, and Trick Williams. And Tony's not happy. Get out of here, you bum. And Carmelo's saying, oh, I'm sorry, I just assumed my invite got lost in the mail. I didn't want to interrupt. It's my God, I apologize. God, but you know what, Tony? It is your big day. You and me, we spent a lot of time together these past few months. So I did just want to come out, congratulate you, Ariana. You're looking fine. And Tony's like, hey. And so Tony's like, apologies. Hey. I got some champagne, so I want to give you a toast. Give me here. And, you know, Trick pours him a glass of champagne, and Carmelo Hayes holds up the glass. And he says, a toast to Tony D'Angelo, the biggest D-bag I know. And Tony's like, you got a problem? Get out of here. And Carmelo Hayes is like, of course. But, Tony, this one's for you. And then he turns his cup and he pours the champagne onto the floor, just like how Madcap Moss poured the champagne over his head at the bachelor party. And as he does that, from the ceiling above the ring, pours down champagne over all of them. Tony, Madcap, Otis, Don Wagner, Michael Corleone, Santino, Ariana, just drenching all of them. Ariana screaming, you know, her dress ruined. Santino, not happy, tries standing up, but he slips, you know, very comically slips on the champagne-soaked mat. He tries to get up and he slips again. He tries to send Kozlov, but Kozlov slips. Everyone's slipping and sliding all over the ring as Destined for Greatness getting the last laugh up on the ramp as that section of the wedding gets us a 68. Good. Happy. The wedding going quite well. Tony very close to officially marrying Santino's daughter, Ariana. Beautiful. But Destined for Greatness, Carmelo Hayes specifically, let's say, not taking too kindly with Tony's actions towards in the past few months. And maybe that bachelor party stunt with Madcap pouring the drink on him was the last straw, as he gives Tony a wedding day champagne shower of his own for a 68. Good. The wedding of Tony D'Angelo. It's a wrestling wedding. I don't know what you expected. The wedding of Tony D'Angelo is over. As then we go back to the actual wrestling of the wrestling show, the boring part after the wedding, I know, and we go to the NXT Women's Championship match between Dakota Kai, the champion, and Bayley, the challenger. Bayley and Dakota Kai having a good match at Money in the Bank, but, you know, showing respect, but then afterwards Bayley getting a Bayley to belly, taking Dakota Kai out, trying to lord over NXT as its role model, as, you know, the superstar here on NXT. Dakota Kai eventually returning this past week and the special edition of Ding Dong Hello, and attacking Bayley and standing tall. And now the two women going head to head with the NXT Women's Championship on the line. And in the end, at NXT Takeover Chicago 3 here, Dakota Kai versus Bayley, your winner. And still, NXT Women's Champion is Dakota Kai for an 84, actually, which is very good. Dakota Kai, full defense of the belt. Both women getting 77, so very evenly matched. But it is Dakota Kai in the end who hits the GTK to go to kick onto Bayley and picks up the victory here, retaining her NXT Women's Championship. Dakota Kai getting the opportunity to stand tall.
Toxic.
Not for long, as yes, Toxic Attraction waltz out. Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, of course, Miss Money in the Bank herself, Mandy Rose. And they make their way out to the ring, Mandy holding that custom briefcase of hers, and the three women climb up onto the apron, staring down Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai dropping the NXT Women's title, you know, come on then, ready to go. And Mandy saying, you know what, actually, No. But, you take your moment, but just know I've got this. Showing the, Money in the Bank briefcase. And I can take that from you anytime I want, sweetie. For an 89. Mandy Rose. Just giving little Dakota Kai a little warning, She can take that title anytime she wants with that briefcase of hers. For the 89, like I said. Good. NXT Takeover Chicago. Moving along very nicely here. I'm very happy because we actually only have one match left. As far as premium live events I've booked goes, I guess I tend to keep NXT Takeovers short because that's what they are in real life. They're like 5/6 matches if you're lucky. But either way, it is time for the main event, and it is time for Winners Take All. 3v3 6-man tag team. We have the NXT champion LA Knight and Spanish Fly, the group known as the Golden Guards. Cameron Grimes already failed. Will the Golden Guards fail in the main event and really fail tonight? But they're up against Chad Gable, looking to get his NXT championship back. And the Mysterios, Ray and Dominic, the Cruiserweight tag team champions. The winning team gets all the gold. Mysterios and Gable win. Gable wins the NXT title. The Mysterios retain the Cruiserweight tag team. The Golden Guards win. LA Knight is still your NXT champion. And Spanish Fly become Cruiserweight tag champs, dethroning the Mysterios. Who will get it in the end? The main event of NXT TakeOver Chicago. Winner takes all 6-man tag team. Golden Gods versus Gable and Mysterios in the end. Your winners. And the team that takes all is... we have the entrances for a 100. And then the winners to take all... Oh my god. The winners to take all are... the Golden Gods. Because of course they do. The Golden Gods get to stand tall in the end with all the gold. LA Knight planting Ray with the BFT, the blunt force trauma, and covering the WWE legend to get the win. LA Knight retains his NXT championship, and Alfonso Bourbon and Socrates Torres win the Cruiserweight tag team titles for an 88. Really good main event, varying in-ring performances, so we'll really take the 88. 94 Chad, 90 LA Knight, 84 Ray, 82 Socrates, 54 Alfonso, 51 Dominic. Everyone doing quite well. I'm happy, as in the end, the closing image of NXT TakeOver Chicago is, of course, the Golden Gods standing tall. LA Knight standing in the middle, NXT title raised in the air as Torres and Bourbon Spanish Fly raise up the Cruiserweight tag titles beside him. And Gable and Mysterios can but look on as they fail to take down the Golden Guards of NXT for a 90. Good main event, good post, really good show overall, I thought. I'm very happy with it. It does get the overall rating of 97, which is very good. Increased up on 21 regions. I'm very pleased. A lot of good matches. Kai and Bayley putting on a good one. Golden Gods main event, 88, very good. Match of the night, of course, was Andrade, Johnny Gargano, who expected anything less. Gargano and Perez earning their spots in Crown Jewel. Tony D'Angelo's wedding being a wrestling wedding. It's never going to go smoothly, is it? A lot to build on. On the NXT side of things, heading to SummerSlam, which I am excited to do. But before we can begin the build-up to SummerSlam proper, we have, of course, one premium live event left to get through. So let me make my speeches. I'm going to shout out Tony, because you're Tony, mate. LA Knight and Jonathan. No, I'm going to do Roxanne, actually. You did well, Roxy. And I will do Jonathan as well. Praised, praised, praised. Pleased, pleased, pleased. And I am very pleased. Very good start to this premium live event special here with NXT TakeOver Chicago 3. Let's try and keep that momentum going, hopefully, with the final premium live event before we begin the build-up to SummerSlam. Let's do it. It's time, everybody, for Crown Jewel. And WWE Crown Jewel gets underway on the pre-show. We kick off on the SmackDown side with Joe Gacy versus Tyler Breeze. The match been building for a little bit. Gacy and the rest of Control debuting, or forming. It's probably the better turn of phrase. And they took out Breezango, took out Tyler Breeze, and they especially took out Fandango, who is currently injured because of that attack. And Tyler Breeze coming back for revenge. He cost them the SmackDown Tag Title match at Money in the Bank, and I mean since then Gacy's put him through some trials and challenges. He beat Cutler and Blake in the handicap match. He beat EC3, and he even overcame Braun Strowman, and now he's finally getting his match with Joe Gacy. Crown Jewel pre-show kicking off, Gacy versus Breeze. In the end, your winner is, of course, Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze coming out on top over Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy going for his, what's he do? You know the move where he handstands, bounces off the rope, flips back and does a clothesline? He goes for that, but he flicks back and he goes for the clothesline. Gacy hits him with a disaster kick, taking him down, hits the unprettier, and picks up the victory for a 69. A very nice start to the show, I'm sure we'd all agree. 74 Breeze, 45 Gacy. Both doing okay. But it is Tyler Breeze who gets the win. Tyler Breeze finally gets his revenge on Joe Gacy. He's beaten all of Control now. Very good for Breeze. Very well done by him on a nice little run by himself. We all like Breeze, don't we? Before then, we have a second match here on the pre-show. On the Raw side of things, it's the Intercontinental Championship match. Montez Ford taking on Dolph Ziggler. Montez Ford at Money in the Bank got the biggest win of his career over Chris Jericho to retain the Intercontinental title. And now he's taking on Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler saying that Jericho is not the best Intercontinental champion of all time. I am. Issuing the challenge, issuing the call-out, which Ford, ever the fighting champion, happily accepted. Money in the Bank, Montez Ford versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. In the end, your winner, and still the Intercontinental Champion of the world is Montez Ford. Montez Ford does get the win, of course. Big frog splash in the end to Dolph Ziggler does it for his 7th defense of the IC title. And considering he won that Mania, Montez Ford is doing very well, isn't he? You have to love Montez. 83 for the match is very good as well. 82 Ford, 66 Ziggler. I am very happy with that 83. Montez Ford gets the win. He raises the title above his head over the match. Crowd cheering. Stands on the, in the corner on the turnbuckle. There you go. Raising the title above his head. Crowd cheering, and then the crowd starting to a little bit as Ford gets down and turns around directly into a brogue kick from Sheamus. Sheamus, not seen since injuring Drew McIntyre in the King of the Ring Tournament quarterfinal, taking out Montez Ford here with a big brogue kick for a 93. Very good. Sheamus, the attack out of nowhere on Intercontinental Champion Montez Ford. I wonder whatever in the world he may want with Intercontinental Champion Montez Ford. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, on that one. As the pre-show comes to an end and it's time to kick off the regular show. Of course, how else do we kick it off? If you've been on the channel for a premium live event pay-per-view before, we kick off with an opening video package. You don't even have to watch another one before. We did it for TakeOver earlier. Opening video package, of course. We highlight all the matches, focus on some of the big ones. The Queen's Crown final, Kairi Sane, Roxanne, Perez and Becky Lynch. The Kings of the Ring final, Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano and Big E. The WWE Championship match, of course, Kevin Owens, MJF. And a special focus on the main event for the Universal Championship, Keith Lee versus Roman Reigns for a 100. Very excited. I got high hopes for all of these matches, honestly. I'm expecting light blues across the board, everybody. Oh, fingers crossed. But let's kick off the show, and we do with the SmackDown Tag Team Champions Bronson Reed and Samoa Joe storming out to the ring. And they say they've been waiting in the locker room too damn long. They're the SmackDown Tag Champs. They are fighting champs, and fighting champs that want to fight. And so they issue an immediate open challenge. Any team from Raw, SmackDown, whatever, who wants a shot for these SmackDown Tag Titles, come get it. And the open challenge is accepted by the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, coming out to accept the challenge, to answer the call for an 83. Nice little promo. What promo segment. As then, SmackDown Tag Title Open Challenge. Bronson Reed Mojo defending against Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders. As, in the end, a good match, 4 big beefy men slapping meat. What more could you want? Eric and I are giving it their best shot. But in the end, it is Bronson Reed and Samoa Joe, who get the win and keep a hold of those SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The match gets the 82. Another good match. Bronson Reed pinning Ivar with the tsunami. In-ring wise, Reed gets the 86. He's doing really well. 74 Joe, 77 Eric, 70 Ivar. I didn't realise the Viking Raiders were doing so well in-ring wise. I'll have to take a note of that. But Bronson Reed, head and shoulders above everyone else. I don't know if I'd agree with that. I think everyone's done alright there. 72 for the match. Good. Bronson Reed and Samoa Joe stand tall when the lights go out. Yes, the laughing heard across the arena. And when the lights come back on, in the ring is Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross with his arm choking out Samoa Joe. And as they come back on, Bronson Reed turns to look at him. Karrion Kross dropping Joe to the mat, and then Kross and Reed brawling it out. But Reed's just had this, heavy bout with the Viking Raiders. And in the end, Kross manages to get Reed up and hit him with a Doomsday Saida, laying out both the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Karrion Kross, for a 91. Maybe not the person you're expecting to show up, huh? But Karrion Kross laying out Reed and Joe here at Crown Jewel. Before then, Crown Jewel, we continue on the blue brand. And next up, we have Deonna Purrazzo versus Aaliyah. Now, this match, not for a title or anything, but this match coming through Aaliyah playing part of Deonna's group, but being a bit more adverse in recent weeks and months to Deonna's dirty, heelish tactics. Deonna wanting to, in her words, beat some sense into Aaliyah, teach her some respect, I brought you here, you do what I say, wanting to teach her a lesson here. Deonna versus Aaliyah. As the match goes on, Aaliyah giving it her best shot against Deonna, but Deonna more experience, of course. The referee at one point getting knocked down. Deonna calling upon the rest of her group, who slowly make their way into the ring. Frankie Monet, Chelsea Green, Lana, all coming in. Aaliyah ready for this 4-on-1 attack. And yes, outruns Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan rushing down to the ring. And she has her problems with Deonna, of course, and, the rest of Deonna's group, but her and Aaliyah also have their own history as being friends before all of this, and Liv Morgan rushing out to help her former friend, helping her fight off Frankie Monet, Lana, Chelsea Green, going for Deonna, but Deonna taking down Liv Morgan, leaving once again just Deonna and Aaliyah in the ring. Deonna taking advantage, beating down on Aaliyah. The referee's still down as Deonna, takes advantage. When a hooded figure jumps over the barricade and slides into the ring, Deonna turning around and noticing the hooded figure. Who the hell is this? And the hooded figure, Deonna going for her. The figure ducking down, picking up Deonna and planting her out. And then the hooded figure getting to their feet, removing their hood. And the crowd erupts as underneath the hood is Paige. Paige under the hood, and she reaches down and places Aaliyah's arm over Deonna Purrazzo before leaving. The referee coming to and sliding over a little bit and counting the 1, 2, 3. It is Aaliyah who comes out in top in the end here. Massive win for Aaliyah over Deonna Purrazzo. Liv Morgan giving her a hand earlier on, which is lovely to see. And then the big part of it in the end is the return of Paige. Paige not seen since SmackDown After Mania, where she lost her job as SmackDown's general manager, but returning here and taking out Deonna Purrazzo, who attacked her in her last appearance. So Karma, really is a binky bonk sometimes, 57 for the match, which is, pretty decent considering in-ring wise we've got 55 and 42. So we take that, we move. Aaliyah gets the big win after return of Paige. As then we stay on the SmackDown women's side of things. next up with the Women's Universal Championship on the line. It is the champion Ronda Rousey versus the challenger Natalya. A lot of history between the pair, of course. Natalya helping Ronda train for her wrestling debut. Training partners quite a lot. Friends going head to head here. Natalya wanting Ronda to take a real challenge for that title. Ronda happy to take the challenge. Two submission specialists. And with the Women's Universal Championship up for grabs at Crown Jewel, in the end, it is Ronda Rousey. The rowdy Ronda Rousey at that, who gets the win and keeps a hold of her Women's Universal title, getting Natalya into the armbar and forcing her to tap out for a 73. 93 Ronda, 55 Natalya. Am I a bit disappointed with that? I'm trying to work out what this could have been. I mean, the average, I think, is... Where's the average of this? 19? So the average is 74. So it's actually pretty good, you know, pretty in the middle. I still would have hoped for more, but we move. Ronda Rousey gets the win. And Ronda Rousey is still the Women's Universal Champion heading into SummerSlam. Then next up, we have the Raw Tag Team Championships on the line. The Dirty Dogs make their way out first, having, you know, on Raw this week attacked Angel Garza, the injury perhaps costing him in the King of the Ring Raw final triple threat match later that night. And Randy Orton comes out alone, Raw Tag title over his shoulder. And Dirty Dogs taunting him, of course. Where's your partner, Randy, huh? Where is he? You gonna do this all yourself, huh? You gonna take this ass kicking all yourself? And Randy, not happy, handing the Raw Tag titles over to the referee, seemingly prepared to do this all on his own. And Orton moving to his corner, the referee getting ready to ring the bell. As support has seemingly arrived in the form of Chad Gable. Gable on the losing end, NXT Takeover Chicago's six-man tag winners take all match earlier tonight, and seemingly wasting no time in looking to get back into the action. And what a better place for him to get back into action than coming to the aid and coming in support of his mentor of sorts and friend Randy Orton. Orton helped train Gable last year in NXT for Gable to eventually dethrone Karrion Kross. The two men going head-to-head at Mania. Gable beating Orton with his own move, the RKO. And, you know, the two showing respect after the match for a 100. Chad Gable coming out. Chad Gable gets onto the apron, puts his fist out, Orton bumping it. And we got a tag team match in our hands. Raw tag titles, Robert Roode, James Storm, the Dirty Dogs, challenging the champions, Randy Orton and his interim partner, Chad Gable, in lieu of Angel Garza. And in the end, Orton and Gable, it's tag team wrestling. It's beautiful. We've seen the connection they can have. And in the end, they each get their member of the Dirty Dogs standing in the ring. They look at each other, they nod, and then they both hit RKOs. And then Orton pinning James Storm to the 1, 2, 3. Chad Gable and Randy Orton retain the Raw Tag Team Championships for a 79. James Storm bringing this down a bit, unlucky. 94 Gable, 82 Orton, 77 Roode, 54 Storm. Still a good match, 79. Gable, 94, amazing as ever. Orton, 82, still pretty good. Robert Roode got 77 as well, good for him. I'm happy with that. Raw Tag Titles, Gable and Orton come out on top. Chad Gable coming to the end of Randy Orton. And he might not have ended this weekend with the NXT Championship, but he does end it holding the Raw Tag Team Championship. So, every cloud, I suppose. As then we go backstage to the WWE Champion, Kevin Owens, being interviewed. And Kevin Owens says that, you know, later tonight, Adam Cole, Triple H, they won't be at ringside. Because MJF, he can make you think that I can't do this on my own, but I can. I don't need Adam, I don't need Paul, I don't need anyone out there to kick his ass. So I've told them to stay back, and they can watch, standing sideways, looking at the TV like everyone else, as I beat the words. Because he loves to talk. I'm going to beat all the words he's got left out of his stupid mouth, and I'm going to retain my WWE Championship for a 100. Amazing promo, Kevin Owens. It's Kevin Owens, and he's really good on the mic, and no one questions that now, do they? As now, speaking of things that are really, really good, it's time for the dream match. It's once in a lifetime. It's the Beast versus the Bullard. Brock Lesnar versus Thaddeus Bullard. 1-on-1. The match that had to happen at some point, didn't it? Brock Lesnar, not seen since WrestleMania 36, 27 months ago when he was defeated by Drew McIntyre in the main event for the WWE title. Since when that happened, Titus O'Neil was Titus O'Neil. But now Titus O'Neil is Thaddeus Bullard. Since then, he was Intercontinental Champion for a year. He beat The Undertaker in a casket match at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. He won the Universal Championship, pinning Big E at Survivor Series. Now, he might have lost the Universal title at WrestleMania, but when Brock Lesnar was last here, you'd never think of him in Universal title contention. But what? In that 27-month period, a lot changed. And now this match is box office. Brock Lesnar, Thaddeus Bullard, the Beast versus the Bullard. Both men stand in the ring ready for this match. Thaddeus Bullard's been he's been begging for this. He wanted this match. He's finally got it. Brock Lesnar ready to get back in action. The referee ready to ring the bell. And Paul Heyman saying, hang on. Getting in the ring one last time and pleading with Bullard. Don't do this. I know him. Don't do this. Okay, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. Don't get yourself killed just to try and prove a point, okay? And Bullard telling Paul to stay in his lane. He knows what he's doing. He's going to kick Brock Lesnar's ass. And Heyman saying, okay. Bullard turning back to Brock Lesnar as Heyman gets down to leave the ring. And it's at that moment that Heyman low blows Thaddeus Bullard. Thaddeus Bullard in a bit of pain. Heyman shouting at the referee to ring the bell. And the referee doing so. And then laughing Brock Lesnar as that makes his way over to Thaddeus Bullard, who's down on his knees. And Lesnar says, let's do it then, kid. And he just manhandles him like a baby and just picks him up onto his shoulders and plants him with an F5. And then begins, this is a perfect analogy because, it's very similar. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena levels of Brock Lesnar beating the life out of a man. Bullard and John Cena are very similar levels, of course. Thaddeus Bullard, he was ready, he wanted this, but that low blow really took it out of him. And Lesnar immediately allowed to get on top. When Brock Lesnar gets on top, he stays on top, and it's not pretty to watch. Lesnar beating down on Bullard, F5, German suplexes, Brock Lesnar laughing all the way, Paul Heyman smiling on at ringside, watching the mayhem unfold. And in the end, it's a fifth F5 to Thaddeus Bullard when Brock Lesnar finally seems content enough to lay down, hook the leg, and the referee counts 1, 2, 3. Your winner here is Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar taking Bullard out. That seems like putting it very, very lightly. Paul Heyman got 65. Not the best. Brock Lesnar was off his game on his return, of course. He got 66, 64 for Bullard. But we don't care. We don't care. Our hearts are hurting too much right now, thinking of the image of our idol, Big Bad Thad, laid out like that on the map. Medics rushing down to check on him, as Paul Heyman, that bastard, snake, turncoat Paul Heyman, gets in the ring, and him and Brock Lesnar smile and laugh at each other as Paul Heyman raises Brock Lesnar's arm over the fallen Thaddeus Bullard as he gets checked on by the medics for an 82. A heartbreaking image to put into your head, I know. It's not pretty and it's not nice. And it's not what anyone wanted. But let's try and bring the mood back up. I don't know if we're going to be able to. But let's try and bring the mood back up anyway, shall we? We had the entrances ready for the King of the Ring final. Pete Dunne coming out. Matt Riddle, his personal hype man during his entrance. Pete Dunne telling him to stop. Riddle ignoring him. And then Johnny Gargano and Big E entering as well for 100. Very good. Ready for the King of the Ring final. Pete Dunne of Raw. Johnny Gargano of NXT. Big E of SmackDown. One of these men will earn themselves the title of King and a guaranteed World Championship match at SummerSlam. Who will it be, though? The match guy then, all three men wanting this. Big E this time last year was the Universal Champion, and he wants a chance maybe to get that back at SummerSlam. Johnny Gargano wanting to take that jump to the next level. He's been an NXT champion. Maybe he wants to be NXT champion again, prove himself as the true heart and soul of NXT once again, or maybe go further, WWE, Universal, whatever the hell he wants. And Pete Dunne looking for his moment, SummerSlam at Wembley, in his home country of England, looking to perhaps become the first English WWE World Heavyweight Champion on English soil like that. All three men have their reasons. They all want this, of course. The match going on, we get to the point where Big E's taken out on the outside of it, but he gets back in the ring, fighting back into it. Big E managing to get Pete Dunne up onto his shoulder for the big ending. Pete Dunne trying to fight out of it. Big E stumbling around. As at that point, that slides into the ring, Aleister Black, who plants Big E with a black mass, taking Big E down. Big E dropping Pete Dunne, and immediately in pain, just kind of falling out of the ring as well. Aleister Black looking down at Big E before leaving up the ramp. And then we're left with Pete Dunne and Johnny Gargano, both in the ring. Johnny tries to capitalise on Pete Dunne, covers, no effect, goes for the Gargano escape. Pete Dunne managing to fight out of it. And then Pete Dunne and Johnny Gargano slugging it out. Neither of these two men want to come up short. In the end, after a hellacious, kind of 2-3 minute spell where they're just throwing everything against each other, Gargano goes for a big super kick to Pete Dunne, but he manages to just shift out the way, grab a hold of Johnny Gargano, and plant him with a bitter end as the referee counts 1, 2, 3. The mood is back up, everybody, as your winner of the King of the Ring final is Pete Dunne. He has done it. Pete Dunne, former NXT UK champion, the boy from Birmingham, the bruiserweight, is the king. He is King of the Ring, and Pete Dunne has earned himself a guaranteed world title shot at SummerSlam at Wembley. 99 for the match. Really, really good match between these three. Very, very happy they put on such a good performance. In-ring performance-wise, 95 Gargano, 93 Pete Dunne, 86 Big E, all doing pretty well. Maybe it would have been different if Aleister Black didn't run in. Why did Aleister Black run in? We'll have to wait for that one, won't we? But who cares? No offense, Big E. The winner is Pete Dunne, or as Matt Riddle would say as he storms out, Stallion Pete is king now. Pete Dunne standing tall on the stage, Matt Riddle bundling him behind him, hugging him, very excited. Pete Dunne a little adverse, but Riddle getting him to sit on the throne before he does. Riddle draping the cape over his back. Pete Dunne trying to hide it, but he's smiling a little bit. Riddle handing him the crown and scepter, and then Riddle getting down on his knees and bowing to Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne is the King of the Ring. As that post gets a 100 as well. Lovely. Very good. Pete Dunne earns himself a guaranteed world title match at SummerSlam. Will he go for WWE, NXT, or Universal? We will have to wait and see. But who cares? We'll focus on the good, and that good is Pete Dunne, King of the Ring. As then next up, we go to Raw for the Women's World Championship match. It is Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross, the former really good friends, reunited when they reunite, June, and then Nikki Cross at the beginning of July, I want to say, turning on Alexa Bliss, not happy with Alexa Bliss, moving on from their tag team, moving on from their friendship in Nikki Cross's eyes. Alexa saying she doesn't need Nikki Cross anymore, that she thinks she's better than Nikki Cross. Alexa saying that's not the case, Nikki not caring, taking out Bliss for a little bit, injuring her a little bit, Bliss coming back and wanting to, in her words, slap some sense into her former best friend. And so with the Women's World, we've done the Women's World Championship on the line, Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross in the end. your winner, and still the the WWE Women's World Champion is Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss does hit her Twisted Bliss in the end to retain the title for an 81. Good match. 78 Alexa, 67 Nikki Cross, both doing well, as Alexa Bliss gets the win. And Alexa Bliss keeps a hold of the Women's World Championship over her former friend. Lovely. Very good. As then we have the entrances staying on the Raw side of things for the WWE Championship match. MJF making his way out first, ready, in his words, to achieve his destiny. He's been calling himself the inevitable MJF because he says it's inevitable. His destiny is to be WWE Champion. And of course, followed by WWE Champion, the current one, Kevin Owens. Like he promised earlier, no Adam Cole, no Triple H. Just one-on-one Owens and MJF for a 100, as the WWE Championship is on the line. Both of these men, they could talk, but this isn't about talking. This is about wrestling. Good old-fashioned wrestling. And the match going on, MJF actually starting to come out on top of it, putting Kevin Owens into his submission hold, holding him, cranking it. MJF, it looks like Kevin Owens might be fading. It's at that point that out walks Triple H and outruns Adam Cole. Adam Cole jumping onto the apron. MJF releasing Kevin Owens and storming over and taking down Adam Cole with a big hit. Triple H standing at the bottom ramp now. MJF and Triple H staring down, and MJF says, "Come on then, old man." Triple H begins to move to the ring. He takes off his jacket, takes off his tie, unbuttons his shirt a little bit, and then begins to take the few steps towards the apron when out of nowhere flies Kyle O'Reilly from the crowd. Kyle O'Reilly is back and clearly not happy about that whole costing him the WWE Championship thing Triple H did at Money in the Bank. Immediately going right for Triple H, beating him down, grabbing him and tossing him into the ring steps. Kyle O'Reilly not happy. Attacking Triple H, standing over him, ready to keep the beatdown going, when out of nowhere Kyle O'Reilly is attacked by Andrade. Andrade from nowhere, hitting Kyle from behind, tossing him into the ring. I'm trying to think of the word. The corner, the ring corner. I can't think of a better word there for what it actually is. Tosses him into the barricade, hits him with La Sombra on the outside. Andrade helping Triple H to his feet. The referee a bit distracted by all the commotion on the outside, let alone MJF. MJF turns around into Kevin Owens, who tries to pick him up for the pop-up powerbomb, but MJF hits him with a big hit in midair. Kevin Owens dazed again. MJF standing tall for a moment when flies in from nowhere Finn Balor with a big strike and a big kick to take down MJF, and then quickly rolling out the ring as well. The referee turning back around as Kevin Owens drags MJF up to his feet quickly and puts him back down with the pop-up powerbomb for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner and still WWE Champion is Kevin Owens. Maybe he did need a little help, but who cares? Big things of note in this: Kyle O'Reilly returning and attacking Triple H, and Andrade saving him, and Finn Balor helping take down MJF. 96 for the match, 94 Kevin Owens, 79 MJF. Really good matchup, actually, between these two guys. You'd expect nothing less, would you? Very happy with that. As after the match, Triple H hands Kevin Owens the WWE title, and over MJF, Triple H, Kevin Owens, Adam Cole, Finn Balor, and Andrade all stand tall. Triple H stands in the centre, Kevin Owens to his right with the WWE title in the air, Adam Cole to his left, Finn Balor next to Adam Cole, and Andrade next to Kevin Owens. I mean, what a unit this is, standing over MJF. The odds very much not in his favour. If it was, him against all these guys, is it now? For a 100 though, really good post. As then we move to the penultimate match of this evening, we have crowned our King of the Ring. Now it's time to crown our Queen's Crown winner. They make their way out. Raw's Kairi Sane, NXT's Roxanne Perez, and SmackDown's one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Becky Lynch. 3 big superstars. 2 maybe bigger names than the other. Becky Lynch, the man, multi-time former women's champion, current one half women's tag team champions, the man. Her accolades speak for himself. Kairi Sane, former NXT women's champion, women's tag team champion. She's had accolades herself as well. And then the new face, Roxanne Perez, only debuting a few months back, making a big impact, I'd say, relatively, proving she can go in the ring with some big names, even Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. When her and Cora Jade faced them for the women's tag titles, they came up short, but they put in a really good effort. 88 for the entrances. And then the match, Queen's Crown final, Kairi Sane, Roxanne Perez, Becky Lynch, all women at points coming close. It looks like it really could go either way. All three want to go to SummerSlam. All three want to be women's champions. And in the end, it is Kairi Sane who flies through the air with the insane elbow to Roxanne Perez. But before she can even think of making the cover, appears Becky Lynch to lock her in the submission. And once in to disarm her, Kairi Sane has no choice but to tap out. And your winner of the Queen's Crown tournament is Becky Lynch for the 79. Good match. 53 Roxanne, 84 Kairi, 89 Becky Lynch. Happy with that. And it is Becky Lynch who wins Queen's Crown. Becky Lynch earns herself a guaranteed women's title match at SummerSlam. The fun fact of note here, I guess, is we've had 2 Queen's Crown tournaments. The first one by Charlotte Flair, this one won by Becky Lynch, meaning that the 2 Queen's Crown winners are the current women's tag team champions, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Which is just a nice fact to me, but either way, Becky Lynch gets to celebrate. The man is the Queen's Crown winner. The man's going to SummerSlam for a 100. Beautiful. Very good segment. Very happy with that. I am pleased. Becky Lynch has done it. As then, it's time to end a very good Premium Live Event special, isn't it? With the main event, of course, the blockbuster match we've been waiting for. They make their entrances. Keith Lee versus Roman Reigns, the box office main event, a crown jewel. The Limitless One, the Universal Champion Keith Lee versus the Tribal Chief and head of the table, Roman Reigns. Both men want this. Keith Lee wants to prove he belongs as the Universal Champion. Roman Reigns says he's head of the table and he wants the belt to prove it. And the match, I mean, both men giving it all they've got. Throwing everything they've got at each other. Roman hitting a spear on Keith Lee for a 2. Keith Lee, Roman going for a Superman punch and Keith Lee picking him up into the Big Bang Catastrophe for a 2. The Spirit Bomb gets a 2. An actual Superman punch gets a 2. Both men throwing all their finishes at each other. Both men want this. Both men want to be the Universal Champion. Only one man can be, though. Roman Reigns going for a big spear, and Keith Lee managing to just get up and pounce him out the way. And going for a Spirit Bomb himself, but Roman Reigns, as he picks up, hits the Superman punch and dazes him. Roman Reigns, runs, bounces off the rope, past Keith Lee, bounces off the rope, past Keith Lee, bounces off the rope, turns around, ready to hit the spear. When out of nowhere, who is there to grab Roman Reigns but Brock Lesnar? Out of nowhere, sliding into the ring, picks up Roman Reigns onto his back and plants him with an F5. And then he turns around and he sees Keith Lee, big boy, and picks up Keith Lee onto his back and plants him with an F5 as well. The referee, no choice but to call for the bell. The match ending in a double, I don't know what's the word, double disqualification, no contest. You can make your decision there. As Keith Lee keeps a hold of his Universal Championship at least. Would he have been defeated if Roman Reigns hit that spear? We'll never know. As the match itself does get a 98, so it was a really good match. For 95 Keith Lee, 89 Roman Reigns, both been doing really well. Not match of the night or anything, but a really good match nonetheless. But the final image of a crown jewel is not Keith Lee, the Limitless One, standing tall the Universal title, having defeated the Tribal Chief. It is not the Tribal Chief standing tall the Universal title, having proved himself as the top superstar around. No. The crowning image of crown jewel is the smarmy snake, Paul Heyman, climbing into the ring with the Universal title and handing it to Brock Lesnar, who holds it over Keith Lee and Roman Reigns for a 100. A beautiful closing image, I'm sure we'd all agree. Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar back together, and Brock Lesnar holding that Universal title again over Keith Lee and Roman Reigns. Overall, Crown Jewel gets a 97. Really good show. Increased up on 15 regions. I'm very happy with that. Tough to choose just a few people. Everyone's done really well, haven't they? I'll have to congratulate Pete, because he is, king of the ring and all that. And I'll do Becky as well. Screw it. Get our king and our crown queen some praise. Pleased tonight. Very pleased. Two really good premium live events pay-per-views, I think. And, I mean, next up is SummerSlam. The biggest party of the summer, probably the second or third biggest pay-per-view in the day calendar. Your decision there. A big event, the WrestleMania of the summer, if you will. And we've already got some building blocks in place, I suppose. A lot of things have happened. Heyman and Lesnar back together. The ending of the show. Dunn and Becky Lynch both earning themselves guaranteed World Title matches at SummerSlam. A lot to play out. A lot to go to, but still, I'm very excited to see how it all goes. I'm looking forward to SummerSlam, and I hope you are too. If you are, and you enjoyed these shows, why don't you, subscribe for more and leave a like. It is appreciated. And whilst you're out here as well, leave a comment down below. What do you think of these premium live events? Are you looking forward to SummerSlam? What matches do you want? Who do you want Dunn and Lynch to choose to fight? Let me know that as well in the comments down below. And as always, I just want to say a special thank you for watching.